Episode 31, Calamity Kimberly. And where have we been?
Holidays, issues with work,
Getting sick.
lots of getting sick.
Something exploded, not a joke, but not important.
Yeah.
But we're back. Episode 31. We got a very sitcom episode, you could say.
Yeah, it feels. It's an interesting concept, once again, but it feels a little too quick, honestly.
Yeah. It was a common thing back when these 20-minute runtimes rather than 24. Makes a difference.
It really does. And because essentially what happens in the episode is that Kimberly just has a bad day.
Wakes up. Everything's going wrong. Can't sleep. Her alarm went off. She got bad hair in the morning. Tries to fix it and doesn't work. Opens the window and then it rains.
Her clothes all get damaged from the washing machine and the dryer with burns.
I thought that was dry cleaning. Burns.
Oh yeah, it might be dry cleaning burns. Breaks a mirror. Turns out one of the villains is actually a peeping Tom.
What?
Yeah, which opens up a whole other can of questions. Is like the villains know where the Power Rangers live.
Hey, they don't gotta be bad sports.
But even then, you are trying to take over the world. And you know where these teenagers live. So,
well, in the words of Lothar, the villain from Ninja Storm, to destroy a ranger, they have to be in their full ranger form.
yes, but that won't happen for another 15 years.
Yeah, but, it's there. If you just kill them on Morph, they'll just get a new one. They do that a couple times later.
Well, yeah, but...
Well, yeah, Kimberly gets to school, her umbrella's broken, she's soaking wet, and Bulk and Skull tease her about it. Like, oh, your hair's wet, what, did you wash it?
And of course, the way they use this as an opportunity to forward the Tommy-Kimberly relationship.
Yep, Tommy's there trying to comfort her, even throws Bulk into a mop bucket after he sees it spill. And then he says they should have their own show.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Give it, what was it, 5 years for that pitch to fail. But, yeah, first almost half Tommy Kimberly, and this guy's cringing the whole time.
Oh, it's just... I don't mind the relationship, but it feels really forced in these early episodes.
Wow. This is the first ever relationship in Power Rangers history.
Right. So, and it falls kind of into that 90s high school drama. It
is a 90s high school drama, though.
Yeah.
They even do the old cliche where Kim trips and Tommy catches her,
complete with the music. You know the music. If you have the image in your mind of that music, you are correct. It is that song.
Well, Rita... Oh, yeah. Kim makes an off comment saying she had a bad dream where Rita's the wicked stepmom. They cut to her saying, as if.
And that's literally all it is. They actually have quite a few of those where, it seems to cut for no random reason.
Kind of like this. I don't know what we cut to, but we cut to something.
Yeah, we'll put in some kind of Family Guy style comedy thing there. But when we actually get to the monster in question, the design of the monster is amazing.
The samurai and guts the fan very...
Journey to the West, kind of get the Bancho fan from Dragon Ball.
And Dragon Ball was directly inspired by Journey.
And it's got a gourd, very like Gaara from Naruto. Kind of got that gourd.
Oh, buddy, gourds have existed long before that anime.
Oh, I know, but the design, the shape of it is very...
a gourd. It's not a new design. Yes. What that does is trap people in a dimension. Well, Kim and Tommy are walking in the area with trees, which may or may not have been a date. He uses it on both of them. Kim gets captured and Tommy gets injured. Why didn't Tommy get captured too? Well, Tommy's injured before the fight, and that's why he's not there right away. The new excuse.
Right, and of course we can only have one damsel in distress, and it's got to be the Pink Ranger.
You do see a couple bits from the Sentai. They do get when the other Rangers almost get captured. You see a scene where four of them falling in, and it's the unmorphed Sentai actors, and their motorcycles show up behind them during the fight.
Yep, the spontaneous motorcycles that we haven't seen up to this point.
I think no, actually, they showed up once when they first got the weapons, also behind them. Yeah, you don't know, in Sentai, Judanger, they couldn't teleport. They drove 3 motorcycles. Yeah, 3, pink and yellow, had to ride sidecars.
Right, and it's like, so and eventually, they managed to fight off the samurai, which is weird because the samurai seems to be fighting them and beating them fairly well.
Yeah, actually,
normal size.
He does beat them at first, almost gets the other 4 Rangers, but Alpha's able to intercept and teleport them out.
And then, for seemingly no reason at all except she has to, Rita decides to grow the samurai.
Yeah, but before that, we got to see them taking a lunch break. They had a putty as the waiter.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit of surreal.
It was kind of funny.
It was a little surreal. Funny, yes, but definitely weird.
Yeah. This happened again. The monster's winning, and then Rita preemptively makes it grow. And then, of course, at this point, Tommy wakes up, jumps into the fight.
At which point we then get the Ultra Zord.
Yeah, I bet now. First, he sends the Mega Dragon Zord and Tyrannosaurus backflipping. Then we get the Ultra Zord.
Right, and it brought up some interesting elements that we noticed. They were speeding up bits of the fight to match up with the dialogue, which made the frame rate look weird with some of this like stock footage.
What do you mean, Joe? It's just how people do, you know?
Right, and then we were noticing how good the like kaiju style Zord fights in this era really are. Like it's the height of like that, like the Godzilla era, like kaiju fights.
It's doesn't seem that impressive, but it's kind of like, oh, it used to be that, because not recently, but I've watched modern Sentai that rely almost entirely on CG to the point where a lot of them are literally just, here's this Megazord equivalent CG attack, and then cut to the monster. Ooh, they don't ever fight back.
There's no connectivity. There's no weight to what's going on here.
And they get not even that good CG, and they get really free with it. One time they even had a character cry with CG tears. It looked terrible.
Right. So
literally 2 seasons before that, they had actors really cry, no problem.
And so, like, looking at this scene, like, it's obviously campy and a little silly, but by the same token, it still feels like these are real people in real suits actually moving around. There feels weight, there feels consequence. And even if they have people like flipping and doing silly stuff like that, it still feels somewhat grounded.
Oh yeah, a giant mech with people inside it flipping like that would actually be quite devastating.
Right, and it's like, and looking at this, I think for all the problems we have with the, with some of the story elements, the action scenes are really well done.
Yeah.
And I think actually the highlight...
And fun fact, this episode didn't have any putty fights. There was just the one scene with a putty where he's a waiter.
You're right.
Nope.
You're right.
Didn't have any unmorphed fights either. It was just the campy bits and then stock footage.
Right.
And like weird. It was a half cliche sitcom episode, half all stock fight scene.
Right, and like most of the like the first 5 minutes or so, focused almost exclusively on Kimberly's no good, very bad day, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and that's how it ends too. After they win inevitably, they're in the garage doing something, and the news is on because everyone had that small TV in the garage. I don't know whose garage. I'm pretty sure it was Billy's. Just ending on the joke. There's the news talking about the Power Rangers. Kim tries to turn it off and...
And, it's funny. It's a great way to wrap up the episode. And it just feels like this is such a cool concept. I kind of wish they'd done a little bit more with like the luck aspect, or it feels like they could have gotten one way or the other.
Well,
Maybe if it were like a monster that was feeding off of bad luck.
they didn't really have the footage for that.
Right, that's sort
And
of the
a little late in the series to decide that Kimberly is the jinx. Unlucky.
right, or just something to that effect, using the luck or the lack thereof in connection to the monster in question. And like they at the point, it feels like the two stories are kind of disconnected.
They kind of are. And I guess they had their stock footage of a samurai fighting this way. They just, didn't really write a story around that. Just had it a thing that interfered with their daily lives, which is valid to an extent.
Right, but and I think in later seasons they definitely do, better integrate the daily lives of the characters with the monsters in question, with the plot of the week.
Yeah, the Ranger duty interfering with real life is a pretty common subplot for any superhero-esque thing.
Oh, sure, and it feels like they haven't quite got there yet. I know they've touched upon it lightly in other stories, but in season one, it feels like they're still kind of building up the world.
Well,
really, they're kind of building up the tropes that will then later be explored.
Well, we're still at the point where they were expecting this to just be a quick, cheap kid show to sell some toys.
Right, and
once we pass episode 40 is when things start to. That's when we enter issue 2, and it's it's at the point where they know, oh, this is a major franchise. Let's stretch it out.
Right, it's that realization that, oh yeah, we're 31 episodes in.
Hey, just 29 more till we get to the amazing season 2 with Lord Zed. Yeah, we're halfway through the first season. Yeah. How many shows have 60 episodes in their first season?
In this era?
In any era?
Well, in like the 90s? Quite a few, actually. But nowadays, I think in the era of 12 episodes a season or 26 episodes a season.
Well, we're getting off topic. So, what'd you think of the episode? Like it?
I thought it was serviceable. I thought it moved a little bit too fast. I felt like the A plot and the B plot were just maybe a little too disconnected. But that's sort of a limitation of the format that the show is inherently based in. But what we did get was a very good, monster fight, a great monster design.
It's a solid filler episode.
It's a solid filler episode. It doesn't really contribute anything to the wider mythos.
Except maybe the Tommy Kimberly relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not well established, but they still, at least Tommy still hasn't completely won her back over after the green with evil bits.
Right, but it definitely does show that there is some mutual attraction there,
yes,
and I think that's serviceable.
You can tell that Tommy really wants to rekindle, and Kimberly wants to, but is hesitant.
Right.
And I remember the look you gave when she's looking at herself in her locker mirror. Tommy walks over and she goes, "Oh no!" Not like, "Oh no, I don't want to see him." Like, "Oh no, I don't want him to see me like this," which means highly comfortable, but
right. And I think it works very well in that regard as well. I think if I had to give it a rank, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, don't really feel right giving it anything else. Another 3.
Yeah, very average, but what it does well, it does very well.
Oh.
Next episode is going to be episode 32, A Star is Born.
A Star is Born. No, not the star for the red Zeo helmet.
And no, not the movie.
If you're wondering if we're going to review the movie, the answer is yes, but first movie's non-canon, but if it was, it would take place in between seasons 2 and 3. So if we finish season 2, then we'll do the movie.
Right.
And of course, Turbo movie is canon, and it does take place in between Zeo and Turbo. So there you go.
Because isn't the Turbo movie, basically the pilot for the TV show?
Yep, it's also the poorly explained transition out of the Zeo powers.
Right. And also, hey, look, a kid. We're gonna let a kid be part of the team.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
We'll get into that when we get into that.
Yeah, it's only been, what, like 10 years since we started doing this? We should be able to get this done by the time we're 50.
TikTok.
Well, hopefully we don't have another we're growing up hiatus. All we gotta do is get Joe over his cat allergy. Till next time.
Emerald! Ranger!